Well, I've got to get that fixed. I haven't fixed it yet. No, the other direction. There we go. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought I was playing with it offline and I got online. I didn't realize that. Uh, Turn on the torch, light up the flame. Time to melt some glass, my friends. As you see in the title, I'm going to do some stuff on mermaids. Uh, Probably a small hollow one and a couple of other figurines. But to give you one that I did earlier, it's after the ones in Norfolk, I guess, area. They have mermaids all over the place there. Thought I'd show that off. But that's another time, another place. And welcome to my show. Like I said, we're going to do some mermaids. Um, as you see, I've gone back to, now this is a piece of tin can here that I'm using, but I'm using that in front of my flame so that I don't have to wear didymiums at the moment. I'm just being lazy, that's all. But that's the way I am. If you have some questions, type them in the chat room and I'll see what I can do about getting to them. Now let's see. Oh, here we go. We got to go in this direction to be in the center of the frame. Actually, before we do that, why don't we go ahead and let you see my face and say hi. It's just a way of letting you know that I am who I am, said Popeye the Sailor Man, right? But without further ado, turn on the 10 liter per minute oxygen concentrator, and we will go from there. And again, if you have a question or want to say something in the chat room, go for it. I am watching. The chat room is right in front of me on another screen and can see and answer questions. Also, click like, click subscribe, and share this. And if things go well, craft it by Little Dragons. Hey, that's a nice name. I like dragons. Or you didn't know that by my icon and my Libby page, right? Or if you've not seen it, you should. Uh, I did a dragon earlier today on Facebook. It was, and I'll show you this on the other screen. Uh, I did a dragon today on Facebook with Illuminati. So that was that one. And I also did a little frog on Facebook as well with Illuminati. I guess you can't see it that well in my palm of my hand, but who knew, right? Anyway, I also did a sea turtle too. That was fun. And I'm going to upload that video onto my YouTube page shortly. I just haven't done it yet. And there's the sea turtle that I did. So yeah, the frog's really tiny, but it's pretty sturdy and pretty durable for a pendant piece. And plus, under a black light, it'll be all aglow. Okay, let's see what we can do about lighting up the torch and getting to some mermaids. Now, usually with the mermaid's tail, I do like some dichro for the tail, or now the green exotic or the blue exotic I use, which has some nice swirls of color in it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but we'll get to that as we go along. And I'm going to just do with the blue swirls of color here on this one. And I'm going to do about 3 or 4 mermaids. got a little bit of an order that's got to be fulfilled. So what do you make mainly, crafted by little dragons? Or is it just the name because of the flame, huh? I usually on the tails of my mermaids, I put like a little S curve going on. I'm going to kick that down a little bit. Swizzle sticks. I'm just a beginner. Hey, you got to start somewhere. I often thought when using like pink fuming, gold fuming, and you get that pink and gold luster, you do a set of clear elephants and a set of pink elephants, so that when you think and you know on swizzle sticks, and when you think it's your person that you're serving to has had too much, you switch it from a clear elephant to a pink elephant. So he's seeing pink elephants. I've done a few swizzle sticks in my time, not a lot. Done a little bit of everything actually. Used to collect them. Okay, we got the tail going on and the body. We'll start that right now. I'm going to do that in clear, and we'll get there from there. Okay, what's the next question? Yeah, it's one way of doing it. The other, yeah, he's laughing at my pink elephant joke. That's cool. That's the way to be. I mean, if it just keeps you going forward, that's the way it was with me at first. Um, I paid for it. It paid for itself in the long run, and I finally got a little bit of a contract doing golf bags and clubs with a local glass blower and a mall, and that worked out real well. Oh, okay. Erica from Torch Talk. Well, you got to have another name over here on YouTube. I don't blame you. Have you done any videos yet? I know you're a beginner, but hey, you make those and then you could say 20 years from now, yeah, that's what I was doing 20 years ago. I'll do a couple of mermaids and then I'll put up a request of anything that you'd like to see done, and I'll see what I can do about making it for you guys. That's half the fun of me doing this is the inspiration and the just the quickness, just sort of like I can't think of the name, inspiration and anyway, you're camera shy. Well, you don't have to show off your face. Just put the torch on, just put the camera on the torch like I do. I sort of wish that YouTube would somehow be able to let you keep the visible chat when you're live, so that people can see who you're talking to and what's going on. Hi, Paula. nice to see that I've got a few people that came on. I'm, like I said, I'm sitting here making a mermaid or two pendant. Got a little bit of an order for one or two or several. Need to get them done. Need to get a lot of things done. I've been really, really, I wouldn't say procrastinating about a few things, but we'll see what we can do, people. See what we can do. Ah, now I'm going to add some silver fuming to this. I've got a little bit of silver still on a rod here. Hopefully, I'll be able to squeeze some silver off of it and fume it over. With that, I need to change out the oxygen. I usually run, because of the concentrator as continually flowing, I usually run oxygen on the outer ring no matter what. But with the silver fuming, it's better to have just one source of flame and not extra oxygen in the mix for some reason. It works better. I might need to get me another chunk of silver into this. It's a light yellow, but it's not doing what I want it to do. I'll make that into a silver fume rod after a while. Going to try to pinch it one more time, see if I can get some silver. What happens to the silver when you fume with silver? It heats up and melts and sort of contracts into the glass itself. Yeah, that's not doing a thing. Darn. Got to do this the hard way. Get another piece of silver out. Right, right. A little nip. Put it down. Doesn't take a lot. Just, I don't know if you saw that or not. It's just a little piece of, I mean, can't be more than a clump. I mean, it's hard to explain. Okay, keep warming that for a little bit. And now I'm going to heat up and touch to the silver. It might take a couple of times. This is what I call a cold weld touch. But with silver, sometimes it takes a few times to warm up the silver and then attach. There we go. And now take it out a little bit more and just fume away. There it goes. They went from clear to shiny gold. I haven't figured out why silver makes gold shine and gold makes gold color. Who knows? It's all in the oxidation, I guess. Okay. I'll be able to do that with about one or two of those mermaids. Tap. Oops. There we go. Fire polish. And we'll get back to that. Okay. That one's a little bit further forward, isn't it? There we are. Oh, that's what the deal is. I can tilt that up just slightly there. There we go. You don't need to see the whole torch going on. Okay, now let's go ahead and make another mermaid very similar to that one. And while I'm making this, if you have a suggestion on what you'd like to see me make next, go ahead and ask. Never hurts. I can always say no, but never hurts to ask. Okay, there's the main part of the tail. Last time I didn't flatten it at all, but I'm going to this time. Widen it out just slightly. Go ahead and put the body on, well, finish off the tail. Nice to see a few people are watching. That's great. And again, if you have a request that you'd like to see me do, also, if you're watching on a cell phone, there is a way to get into the live conversation. It's down, you scroll down to the very bottom of the screen with the YouTube, and then there's a little thing that says chat live chat, and you tap on that, and then you can chat, type into a chat room, or even voice into a chat room for that matter. I've done that both ways myself, so I know it can happen. If it has have had to have happened, it will eventually happen again, right? Right. Okay, let's see. What color should I use for the tail? Here we go. Here we go again. The tail. It's simple stuff. That's the thing about working glass. And I know that I've done some of these things over and over and over again, but you know, it's worth repeating sometimes. An octopus, huh? You really want me to try an octopus? Well, if you can't get 8 legs on there, do 6. You know, make it a hexapus. Unless people are really sitting there counting, they don't really notice the difference. But okay, we'll see what we can do about making an octopus after I finish this mermaid. Sound like a plan? Okay. Okay, there's the main body to the mermaid. Got to do the arms and the head and so on and so forth. So I take it you have problems with octopuses too there, because, okay, yeah, we'll get there. Now on the arms to my mermaids, I usually put them in what I call the L pattern legs or arms. I pull it out, go about a little bit out, and then let it cool, and then go up a 90-degree angle from there, or or close to a 90-degree, which of course makes an L-shaped pattern, and that's why I call them an L pattern. And it's good to get them out of the way, and you know, to where you can see where they are, and then you could even put them in the prayer fashion afterwards, but it keeps them out of the center of the body as you're working on it, and then reshape them later. Right, right. Now the neck. Uh, I'm having a slight problem with my torch. It's sort of tilting over. I need to adjust and tighten that down, and I haven't. So that's the way my story goes. Um, the way that I make them, there's several ways that you can make them, and know that you'll have enough room for the 8 legs. Um, I can give you a little bit of basic idea there. Give me, like I say, I'm almost through with this mermaid. Once I'm through with the mermaid, then we'll go into making a octopi. Why, oh, why don't I do a platypi? I don't know. So I'll do an octopi instead. Now, when I do the hair, I sort of flow it back and forth, and then sort of do the fold and pull outward a little bit. But then I go to the sides of the head and do like a little curlicue to fill in the sides of the hair there, and it kind of works. Gives it a little bit of support and also more structure on the side, so it doesn't look like bald on the side of the hay. Okay, let's see about fuming this with silver. Here we go. Warm it in a little bit. Well, I forgot to do the loop on the head. Let's do that first, and then we'll fume it with silver. 15,000 things to do in 5 minutes to do it all in. You got to get it in the right order, right? Some of them you can sort of fudge it with, but some of them you can't. Yeah, I have problems with getting enough legs on there too. So don't feel like it's. It took me a long while. I mean, I still have a few issues from time to time, but I do it in a pattern like you cut a pizza. You cut straight across, and then you quarter that, and that's four, and then you do a cut across that way and cut across that way, and make sure that there's four on each side when you're making it up, and it does make a difference in the long run. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a second. Let me get this sucker fumed, and then we'll go from there. Hey, Athena. Nice to see you showed up here too. I know my my other channel. Not too many people have started subscribing there yet, but that's okay. I understand. It's just one of those things. But I did think that it needed to be a little bit have its own channel um, instead of with the rest of the glass that I do. This thing is not cooperating at the moment. Okay, let's do like I said, sometimes it likes to recess in, and you got to squeeze it to bring it back out to the surface, and then it does the job. Nice fume of yellow. Yeah, there we go. Must have got some silver on it or something. I don't know. Interesting. We'll take care of that in a minute. There we go. Anyway. Yeah, I must have got a piece of some of the silver must have slagged off and hit the tail, but we'll get there from here. Now, fire polish where I had the cold weld. Set that down. And time for an octopi, right? What other channel? um, I have a channel dealing just with my tobacco pipes. And the name of the channel is Piping Hot Art Glass. It's a pun in sorts, but piping hot is what it's about my tobacco pipes. And right now I've got like about 8 to 9 different videos dealing with different tobacco pipes that I've done. From doing a dragon to doing, oh, let's see, did a dragon, I did a mermaid, I did a dolphin, and some sea turtles. And also some of my silver encasement to give you an idea. Oops. some reason I'm getting some flack on there. Okay. First things first, I usually do the head to make sure that it's on there and everything's more or less copacetic. And with the octopus's head, it's basically just a teardrop or a fat teardrop, as it were. You get it to be about like that, and then you just let gravity work. And that's about where it needs to go, right there. Then, yeah, takes time, takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight with it with the tobacco pipes. It's learning tubing also. Solid is one thing, and tubing is another. Most of my glass sculpturing life has been in solid, but I have done hollow a lot. Matter of fact, I showed off at the very beginning of the show, and I'll show it to you again real quick. Give me a sec. Trying to clear off this area so that I can do this. Um, First, now I pulled off more. You could probably pull off a little bit more, about the same size that you do for the head. You should do for the base, but in this case, I didn't because I was sitting here talking with you. And then I mash it down and flatten. It makes a little bit of a Maria, and from that Maria is where you make the legs to your octopus. I'm doing okay with solid basics and Marias and starting to be straight and even, but my hollow work is abysmal. Well, again, it's something that you have to keep practicing with. And you're not trying when you're blowing into the tube, you're not trying to do a bubblegum bubble. You're just trying to equalize or less than equalize the pressure that is on the outside of the tube. To blow it out, you a little bit more than equalize pressure. But if you just want it to stay the same, you just now, of course, it's easy to do the first leg, and I'm going to do this forward, and I'm going to basically at first put them with a S curve to them, just like that, all the way around, and then from there, I will play with them. Now from here, I'm going to try to do 4 on this side, and then I'm going to try to do 4 on this side. In other words, just sort of structure it out that way. Okay? Okay. We'll get there. Let's kick this up a notch. Get some outer ring flame going on. Here we go. It'll melt a little faster and I'll get the job done. Okay, I'll on this page today, I will also put melting memories page that I talked about. I've talked about it several times, and I have put it on the bottom of. I guess I need to just put it into the mix and do it every time so that people can, and if they want to post something on Facebook of their work, to let me see and let other people see what they are doing. And again, this is a small crowd. I mean, we're talking, I think, close to 30, maybe less subscribers on that Facebook page at this point. So you're not talking major amounts of people going in and trying to rip you a new one on the work that you're doing. Melting Memories page on Facebook, yes. And I do not believe at this point that you have to be a member to post, but wouldn't hurt to be a member. That way, when something does happen on that page, I usually put posts of my YouTube videos on that page, and I also put a couple other things. I also do the picture, whatever I make on YouTube. I usually put a little snippet there too. And I've noticed that lately that a lot of people have not been doing or posting besides myself. I'm not trying to uh, tell people they can't, but it just seems that's the way they're going. They think that my work is so much better than theirs. No, it's all in the learning process, guys. And I'm here to help you. And if I don't see what you got, then I can't sometimes structure my videos on what to teach you guys in the future. How's that? Now, I've already started. I've done 4. Now I've got to do another 4 on the other side of this. I've been sitting here talking and not really dealing with or explaining what I'm doing, but it's just rod after rod. And what I'm using is about a 9 mil rod. Um, but if you want to, or 10 mil rod, one of the two. But if you kind of think that that's a little bit big for you, you could use a 5 or a 6 and work your way out. You know, make thinner legs to begin with. Okay, we're working on number 2 on the second quarter of the octopus. I think they got a little bit bigger as I went along too. Just the way that life goes sometimes. And you can start curlicuing some of them like this as you get the glass flowing. It really does make it cooler. Okay. I'm going to see if I can't smash that leg over a little bit to give room for another 2. That's all I need. I did too much or too big on that last one. I really did. But we got room for 2 more. This is one way of making, you know, and again, if you end up with 7 legs on an octopus, unless they're going to sit there and count, and then you could tell him he had a in with a shark and lost one of his legs, you know, give him a story. That'll work, you know. Curlicue around. Yep. Now you can get detailed and start putting little bumps on each, you know, the little suction cups and stuff like that. It's all in your own amount of detail that you want to put into something. Nothing is absolutely prohibited, I guess you could say. Down to the last leg of the journey, ha ha ha, or arm or whatever you want to call it. Oops, went to try to read and 2 of the legs got stuck together, but I'll show you what you can do to take care of something like that in just a second. Here we go. Now, when you've got something like that just happened, and that's probably some of your frustration there, I know. Now, here they are. I use some scissors that I've used, you know, that I got for, no, actually, I probably got these at a yard sale or something. Okay. I'm going to heat up right where they stuck together, back and forth, and nip. Pinch it right across, right at the spot. See that? There we go. I just heat that in and it'll melt right back into the leg there. And now they're not stuck together anymore. Now there's another way, and I'm going to do that real quick and do a demo on that real quick also, at how you can do starfish and octopus and stuff like that. I have done the starfish deal before. Now what you also got to do is make sure that you've melted all of that in quite nicely. Sort of drew them down on the rod instead of having them outstretched. Yeah, well, to each their own, and you got it. There's 15,000 ways to skin a cat, and you only need one to do it at the time you're doing it, as long as you can get the job done. And what I do is not written in stone, not by a long shot, maybe written a little bit in broken glass. um, but I'm going to tap that off. I didn't put any eyes on it either. Dang it. But we'll live with it. I'm going to leave it just as is. I'll go back into it and fume it and do a whole bunch of stuff with it later. But that was just to give you guys an idea on how to do an octopus. Yay! Now the other way to do is press out a Maria. And this again will help you to do starfish and stuff like that. And you have a set of scissors, just like the ones I was using a second ago, hanging around. I'll do the starfish, which will still give you the idea of the octopus, but not have to cut so many sections out of it. Okay? Okay. Now you just basically press out a nice big Maria. And I'm going to do that again and spread it out even further. There we go. That's going to be a nice size starfish. I'm not going to waste it. Give me a sec. You'll see what I mean by not wasting it. Let's see. There we go. I have some dichro sitting here. Okay. Film side up. Right there. Now I'm going to, and it's cold. You can see my hands are on it. It's not like it's warmed up or anything. Okay. Let me get this nice and warm. Yeah, I've got a little bit of crap on my table. That's why all those little stars and spurs are going on. I press that in. Now the dichro is going to be the back of the starfish and have some nice gold starfish going on here. I'm going to put, I did it earlier and made the sea turtle very similar to it with periwinkle blue. And that's what I'm going to do for the starfish here. And what I do for the when I do dichro, I usually add the color underneath it, and that's to back up. It sparkles and glitters and spreads out. Sometimes you need a nice strong color behind it to. Most of the colors that I get for dichro, I use mainly for the reflective color, not the transparent color. Okay. I know I'm taking a little longer than what I needed to, but it's worth it in the long run. You'll see. Press it out. And now, and now, and now. I'm going to, let's see, where am I at? What am I doing? Nope, don't need those. Don't need those. Oh, here we are. I'm going to flare that out just a little bit. Bring the color, try to bring the color right to the edge. Sandwich it. Oops, sorry, I was a little off camera. Sorry. Wasn't trying to do anything secret, just trying to get her done. Okay. Now, there we go. Now, scissors. Had them here a second ago. Oh, here they are. Now the idea, I'm going to create 5. No, actually, I can't remember how many slits you have to do the 5 tabs. I think 6 slits, but we'll see. You got the 1. Here comes number 2. Yeah, I didn't get the dichro in there just right, but I'm going to do it anyway. Number 3. You've already got 1, 2 showing. And you do it another time. And yeah, I might have to split one of these. Figure out which one to split or make one of these smaller. Same idea though. Okay. So far so good. Now I'm going to make sure they're flattened a little bit better. This makes great petals for flowers as well. Also, it does some interesting jobs. And now what you end up doing is just stretching this out, each one of these, and you got the legs to your octopus or legs to the starfish or whatever you want to do with them. Okay, here we go. Wow, can't believe how late it's getting so fast. But we're getting there. Okay, now I'm going to pull out each one of these to make the arm of the starfish. Here we go. Number 2. Okay. Here comes 3. You get the idea though. Just got to make sure it's heated up enough and touch and stretch. And if you do this right, you can stretch it right to the edge of the dichro. That's what I'm pulling off and tapping off is what's not dichro anymore. But on these last couple, I've got to leave it without the dichro on it because I don't think I got enough dichro in that general area. And the last but not least, number 5. Now, wondering how in the world I use my rusty, dusty, trusty wire cutters. And these are the types that you have to do it manually. You have to pull it out, push it out, pull it out, and nip it in. Most of the pliers I had in my time were this direction. So I learned the hard way. And then I got tweezers, and then it was like, whoa, cool. Simple tools sometimes make it simple easier. Cold weld. I'm going to pull a little bit of that off. Not a lot. Oops. It's one thing about cold weld. Sometimes I don't want to hold on to it long enough for you. Getting there. One more and I got it off. There we go. Yeah, you can get the scissors, you know, even if you get a pair of scissors that's off the shelf, in they're probably going to dull up like a son of a gun. Um, but you only really need the smaller ones, like for manicures. You know, if you got any of those, probably you can get some in that aisle at the department stores. You know, dealing. I'm sort of stretching it in the right direction to make it more of a star shaped star. Um, and let me see, where do I want to put the? I think the loop is going to go right. Where is it? Right here. Ah, right. No, right here. Any questions? I'm glad that you guys have been coming in and chatting with me. I'm glad that I've got to close this show real soon here. That's why I'm sort of, and I will post pictures and a group shot of what I did on this show. That's why I usually try to do it. Sometimes I miss out and not do it, but life goes on. Uh-huh. Okay. 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 And we have one starfish. And again, if you put 8 of those little nubbins out and pull them out, then you got the lines for an octopus. Same idea, right? Thanks for showing up, people, and I do appreciate everything that everything that you guys do. And in other words, click like, click subscribe if you have any questions. If you all the way around, you know that I keep asking the same questions over and over, and I know that there's going to be somebody that hasn't heard it before. I'm here to help you learn how to do glass as best you can and with what you have, not have all the big, huge main uh, tools. If you've seen a lot of my videos, I've done it on my national torch, which is sitting right here. Um, and I've also done it with, of course, my Carlisle, which is what I'd use most of the time. But I use a small flame, and that shows you that you know you don't have to have the big, mean, bad torch to do the work. If you've got something to just melt glass with, is all you need sometimes to get started. Uh, but I do say glasses always have eye protection, and I'm talking didymium lenses at least, um, and that is a must. The rest of the tools, you can fudge it here and there and get this and that, and then get more and more as you go along. But protecting your eyes from the get got is the most important thing. I'll tell you that right now. Um, with that, I'm going to close. As I say, carpe vitro. Oops, you know what? You're sitting here looking at my desktop, and I mean my torch table instead of me. And why not, you know, say goodbye? Hey, goodbye. Uh, as I've always said, carpe vitro, and enjoy your day.